What's that ominous glow in the distance?
I can do this all day.
So San Diego's Comic-Con clips have been out there for not even a week yet, and the amount of hype it's getting is no longer surprising considering the panels that were at the said convention. But out of everything at the con, there was just one massive reveal that just did not sit right for me. Now, I can already hear the comments. Greg, you insignificant casual, RDJ carried the MCU on his back since Iron Man 1, and he's about to do it again. You just wanna hate on the man's return for clout and gain more subscribers. Dick Rider! First off, no. I've been a fan of RDJ's Iron Man long before I knew Iron Man was even in the MCU, nor did I know that he was a Marvel character. You want more proof of me being here since day one? Boom, motherfucker. I was here back when iPhones were still a luxury and not a fucking necessity. I grew up with the MCU. Iron Man was the first Marvel movie I ever saw in theaters without me knowing that it was a Marvel movie. So this studio has a really close connection with me. Endgame was already the perfect ending to Tony Stark's story, who was once a snarky billionaire playboy philanthropist turned superhero that was willing to die to save the universe. The amount of tears I shed in that theater was going to fill buckets. And you can imagine my disappointment when I saw the reveal for the actor of Doctor Doom. Again, I know we're still in the multiverse phase of the MCU, which, let's be honest, it's getting a little tiresome since the retconning of Kang as the main big bad. He made the most sense on why the multiverse is so important though. Having a time-traveling conqueror to be the main villain of your multiversal saga is literally the biggest money printer you could ever get. But all things considered, after Jonathan Majors got Johnny Depp, they had to scratch the whole Kang Dynasty movie and instead replaced it with Avengers Doomsday. Hey Marvel, here's a thought. Why don't you just recast the character? You've done it to Rhodey, aka War Machine, in the second Iron Man movie. You did this to General Ross when the actor died, so why can't you just recast Kang the f***ing Conqueror? Look, I get that Jonathan Major is your definitive Kang and he will never be replaced in your eyes. I know that you've plastered his face all over the MCU, especially Loki and Ant-Man and the Wasp, but that doesn't mean you can't recast him. He's literally the easiest character to recast, even more so in the multiverse. The amount of variants that you can scroll through and recast Kang and have him play the rest of the variants makes the most sense instead of wiping 80% of your planned movies with the character. You don't have to scrap your entire MCU timeline. All you have to do is find the best replacement for Jonathan Major and you're all set. Jonathan Major, as talented as he is, was not and will not be your only option for Kang. The actors aren't even that hard to choose from. A fan favorite that majority of fans would love to see as Kang the Conqueror was Gustavo Fringe from Breaking Bad. But instead of you having him replace Kang, you have him playing the Serpent King for the fucking Serpent Society? Really? Sure, okay, he could be awesome in the role because I haven't seen much of the Serpent Society except for the animated versions of the Avengers on Cartoon Network, but even then I still feel like they were a B-grade, no, sorry, too high praise, D-grade villains that are basically street level, and I swear the Defenders can take care of the Serpent Society any day. Okay, sure, I'll give you that one. But you wanna know who else could have been the best pick for Kang in replacing Jonathan Major and make the audience go absolutely apeshit in theaters?
Next time, baby.
Terrence motherfucking Howard, the original War Machine. Do you have any idea how the audience would react to a recast of an actor from the movie that launched your studio coming back for the biggest baddie of your studio's history thus far? It's either you're getting really lazy on these casting calls and auditions, or you're pulling a Vince McMahon and pulling old stars out of retirement in hopes of reviving your product that is on life support since you dragged it through so much mud, to the point where the fans can barely recognize it. Not only will you be giving Terrence Howard his flowers as a thank you for helping RDJ creating the foundation of the MCU, but you will be serving the fans one of the biggest dishes you have ever cooked up. Finally, you will be giving Terrence Howard and the fans their next time, baby. But no, instead you call up one of your old superstars that you killed off and have them play a variant of both Doctor Doom and Iron Man. Look, even the Russo brothers look tired, and I've got a gut feeling that as much as they don't want to do it, the money is probably really good in it for them, and that is just depressing. Don't get me wrong, I know that RDJ is most likely going to be playing Infamous Iron Man, where Victor Von Doom is roommates with Iron Man or Tony Stark instead of Reed Richards, and switches their minds with Tony Stark's to become Infamous Iron Man. Victor was inhabiting Tony's body, which tells me that RDJ will most likely be playing said Doom variant in Tony's body. But in the end of that comic, we see that that variant of Doctor Doom is overcome by a Tony Stark in Doom's body. Victor Von Doom tries to persuade Tony to take back his body and his name, but he eventually rejects it. Due to the Stark name being dragged through the mud so much, he takes up the mantle of Victor Von Doom and makes sure that that name is a hero's name. But you need to consider that they didn't switch faces, they only switched minds. Victor was inhabiting Tony's body, which tells me that RDJ will be playing said Doom variant in Tony's body. We'll most likely have an actor in Tony and Doom's body, which will be revealed in future phases. RDJ could be playing a Doomified Iron Man, so that the said Victor variant can be the hero for once. But considering it's the MCU, I feel like they're still going to be having RDJ play the hero as a Doomified variant, which I shall repeat is, in my opinion, desperate. If this variant of Doom ends up sacrificing himself in Secret Wars, I swear to the MCU gods, I will lose all of my respect for the studio. But if they go with my previous point of having RDJ play the villain for once to a Doctor Doom that is a hero, that would be much better and a better decision creatively instead of having nostalgia baiting your fans. Because right now, that's exactly what you're doing. Nostalgia baiting. You're bringing back your biggest star, one of your biggest stars, that carried the studio for a solid 2 decades, and bringing him back in hopes of regaining the fans that you lost after you decide to kill your product with an on-again and off-again relationship with your movies and your streaming shows. It feels so desperate for your studio to bring back who was already done with his role to have him play a variant of a villain in hopes of garnering attention from old and long-time fans. And yes, Deadpool and Wolverine did the exact same thing by bringing back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But in their case, it made sense. Logan was the face of the Fox X-Men scene, and him being in Deadpool and Wolverine only made sense because they were bridging the gap between the Fox, Marvel movies, and the MCU. They were bridging the Fox and Marvel universe into eventually merging both into one congruent universe. We even saw this in the movie, that other actors were playing Wolverine, meaning you can have different actors to play beloved characters. So instead of having RDJ play our main big baddie, keep him as a variant, and have another actor play as the actual big bad of Victor Von Doom. Now, who exactly would play Doom?
And now I have become death. The destroyer of worlds.
Cillian Murphy would be the perfect Doctor Doom, and is by far the most fan-favorite cast of the character. If they already have this planned to reveal him as the actual Doctor Doom, that would be a great decision, and having RDJ just as a variant of Doom makes so much more sense to set up another Doom variant. But having RDJ as the main Doctor Doom not only feels wrong, but is also a slap in the face of longtime fans who cried their eyes out when they saw their childhood die in Endgame. The MCU, like what the WWE did, yes, we're talking about the WWE now since Seth Rollins is going to be in Captain America: Brave New World, the MCU should be listening to the fans. As in the WWE, they started listening to the fans as soon as Vince McMahon was fired from the company. And look at how good operations are running for them now. If only Kevin Feige would stop for a minute, take a step back, and see what the fans actually want to see instead of thinking of stuff on the spot that he thinks would make him money. I feel like if he listens to the fans and what they want to see, then the money will basically print itself. It's best if Kevin Feige takes a step back just a little bit and look at the bigger picture again instead of rushing decisions. I feel like it's a rushed decisions just for nostalgia baiting. Just because we want to see an actor back in the MCU does not mean we want to see them back as the main villain. A cameo is more than enough. You don't have to bring them back for another 6 years to carry this company on their back. The MCU can do so much better in building up the future phases and sagas without an old superstar coming back to carry the studio again. But as the saying goes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And what do I think if Kevin Feige is actually watching this video? I think he only has one response to it. But that's all I got for you in today's episode. Did I lose 90% of my audience? Most likely. But what are your thoughts on RDJ's return? Let me know down in the comments. Now, this video was a little off schedule as I'm obviously frustrated with this creative decision. It's so dumb, but again, it's the MCU and it's Disney. We have no control over it. They only listen to fans if they think it's a very big money decision to recast or not. It's just really, really, really dumb. I can't do anything else but just give my thoughts on the matter. But if you enjoyed, leaving a like would be awesome as it gets the video out there, and subscribing and turning on notifications will keep you up to date on the latest cult meetings. That's all from your boy. I hope you have a wonderful day, and in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.